Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Marianne and you're watching Marianne's Mystic Mentions, and I want to thank you for that. I really appreciate it, all of you. I'm on this brigade, everybody on YouTube. What we really love and deeply appreciate is that everybody that has any good feelings or resonance with the person like myself, the content maker, the reader, you know, several different ways to put that, just pushing that like button, sharing the information, sharing the video, I should say, you know, pushing the bell notification, you know, when I upload. It's pretty much the same. I do the monthlies for every sign and I do a weekly collective. And that's always on Mondays. If you didn't get a chance to see that, please do look. And then I'm going to be including more and more as my balancing improves. And I'm reading for May. And I'm reading for the sign of Leo today, and that's hence the beautiful, vibrant, fiery red color that represents fire signs like yourself, Leo, and also just this amazing, beautiful new month. Happy May. I felt it. I was starting to feel it over the weekend. We had a new moon in Taurus. We were in Taurus season. Happy birthday, all Tauruses that are cross-watching for Leos, because many times throughout my years of studying compatibility and doing readings about that, a lot of Tauruses and Leos hang out. And there's a lot of fiery passion between them as well. Don't get me wrong. It's not just hanging out. You know what I'm saying? So don't let me digress though, please. I'm really good at that. So we're going to keep it straightforward because I am actually a little behind. I had a feeling that might happen. It seems as though when all the retrogrades decided to end in the shadowy, almost all the shadow periods, the last of, I guess, the Venus retrograde shadow will end around May 12th to the 14th. But other than that, it's going forward now. And I've been feeling that, and I hope that you are, Leo. You are so anxious and ready. We had Mars, the hot, fiery, motivational, you know, energy, confidence, you name it, aggressive planet. Retrograde, go forward, go back, Cancer, Leo, back to Cancer, then now in your sign, Leo, through June 1st. Utilize this. This is fantastic. I love this time. I was driving home from work, and I'm looking, and you just look at the streets. There's a little sun, a little more sun. It's still a little cool. You know, I'm pretty much always cold, but it's getting warmer, and it's this feeling is in the air, and it's just this wonderful. Let's move forward again. Okay, you can honestly, you're going to feel it more and more as the month goes on through June. We actually only have one retrograde to think of and talk about today, and that is the Pluto retrograde that happens on the 4th of May. It is an outer planet. It happens every year. All planets do retrograde. And those that are new and are saying, what are you talking about? Well, retrograde is a term they use when it appears like the planet that you can see, you know. I don't know how well you can see Pluto, to be honest. I think it's one of the harder ones to see. Unlike the more personal planets like Mars and the Moon and even Jupiter and Venus. You can see those. Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is that Pluto is the planet that has to do with their deepest, you know, like transformational things that can be about really going deep and checking out our shadow side, and just like the way we tend to sabotage ourselves and just thinking kind of fearfulness and all. It's going retrograde, which means it's going to be more internal. Any planet that's retrograde is internalizing things. So the first day or so, you're going to probably feel it, but then you'll be getting used to it. And it's good. It's good because it helps you to really be as honest and direct with yourself as you can be. And it actually helps to override the fears and so forth that I mentioned. So I like it a lot. I like all planets because none of them are bad. None of them are necessarily good, although that's not true, because there are benevolent planets that really are notably known for making things better and feeling better and lighter type energy. I'm all about energy. Anything that has to do with energy, I'm extremely interested in that. I am an intuitive reader for tarot. And we're going to get to that. So I'm going to start, because these readings will be a little bit shorter too, more concise and to the point. The collectives on Mondays are longer and involved if you want to check that out once again. I start with the chakra check though, once again, having to do with energies. All these beautiful built-in, if you will, energy centers throughout our bodies that help us to, grow and feel and have strength and have heart and have the ability to speak and feel confident and feel grounded in all of those, just right there for the taking. And so I like to bring a message from one of the 8. There's more, but I choose the 8 that starts from the base of our spine upwards through the crown and upward to the 8th chakra. We're all connected and all united. This has been the prominent chakra, which is the 7th chakra, the crown chakra. So it's pretty simplistic, but I put this behind my back and see which one Spirit would like us to be focused on. You specifically, Leos. Each sign has a different opportunity to see. And it doesn't have to be negative in any way. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It could be that things are great. Just keep up the good work. Or it could be that there could be some kind of a blockage in this particular chakra area. So the saying on the card is beautiful to help lift that and remove that. It works like a charm. I do a little ritual every morning for every one of my chakras. And it just makes you feel just completely holistic and the best version of yourself is how I like to word that. So for you, okay, well, you have the 8th. So there's been a general theme from the 3rd eye to the crown and upwards. So those are the 3 chakras that really, really have a lot to do with our intuition, our higher power, our knowing. And it's a really beautiful time. It's synchronistic things coming about, and serendipitous. Don't you love that word? Where people are coming into your life again. You just thought of them and there they are. Or, the call you get, you just like, I was just thinking of you, and that type of thing. Very strong, very much so for about 18 months, because with these eclipses that we just finished, now listen, that in itself, along with all the retrogrades, Leo, and along with the eclipses, which happen every 6 months, our entire life, though they change signs, they're very powerful. They make a lot of changes. I would love for you to share with me what you've noticed as far as changes. And it doesn't have to mean you. It means around you, things happening around you, because it's been nonstop since the beginning of the year. I'm a part of it indirectly and not intentionally, but I'm seeing it, and there's people coming and going, and they're changing things they hadn't changed in 30 years, and they're moving to other countries, and it's more than I can remember in my lifetime so far. And it's just beginning, because there's a lot of changes astrologically too. I'll talk about those a little as I go along. Let's read to you the specific meaning behind the 8th chakra. And it says, I'm so sorry. I feel like I do this more than I should, and I apologize. I'm definitely not infallible. This is the 6th chakra. This is your 3rd eye, okay? So the 7th is the crown. And this is still part of the 3 that I mentioned, but the color is what throws me sometimes, because they're kind of comparable. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, here it is. This is the 8th that I mentioned. I thought it was. And this is the 6th. So yeah, there's a difference, but still the same hue, which represents, like I said, mostly in that part of our bodies, our incredible clairvoyance and knowledge and intuition and just this awareness. And I started to say the eclipses for the next 18 months are the North Node. The nodes have to do with where the eclipses and how they are affected and so forth, is in Pisces, a water sign, extremely intuitive, clairvoyant, psychic, and all of those, everything you can think of in that way, always have been, always will be. Old soul, 12th sign of the zodiac, they're the fish, they're the water. They swim around, they can go either direction, they're very immutable, they're very changeable, they have the currency that they feel and the sensitivity, they're empaths. And each one of us gets to have, a little bit, a touch of all of that as well in our natal charts. But the 6th chart is, yes, I always tap that area right there between the the eyebrows and the forehead. And it says, my intuition connects me to all-seeing, omnipresent nature of the universe. Divine intelligence flows through me. I am provided profound insights that allow me to navigate life's constant movement with simplicity and ease. And I love that. And I feel like it's so appropriate for May, because while we're in Taurus season as an earth sign, it's definitely about getting your feet down in the ground, getting into nature, feeling calmer with this incredible agitation and just changeable everything, the electrifying aspects of the energies from the eclipses. You take that deep breath, you make those vacation plans now. It is that time of year, before you know it, school's out. It's systematic, it's seasonal, it's all of those things. But the simplistic and ease part really sits well with me now, because we all need that. We need the time to refresh and rejuvenate. So I hope that makes sense to you, and a meaning that will carry on through May. Now, also, I will tell you too about the 2 lunations. But first, let me just coordinate the appropriate crystal for you, which is the beautiful amethyst, one of my favorites. I've got them all around me. They surround me all the time. Can you see it? I'll push this over there a little bit more. They're gorgeous. They are great. Well, I'll read what it says. They're great for, what does it say? Third eye, insight, dreams, intuition. I am connected to my inner knowing, which strengthens my ability and healing abilities and insights. I'll read that one more time. I'm connected to my inner knowing, which strengthens my healing abilities and insights. And it does. I've always got one on me. I'm a massage therapist, and I absolutely love the empowerment that I feel. And the really cool thing is you can charge them in water at any full or new moon, which is my next comment, as I was saying, while I shuffled cards just a little bit more, because we're going to go on to your reading. And I'm going to finish with an oracle message and send you off, beautiful Leos, into this wonderful month of May, because it's going to be very, very special. And all of the elements, if you will, are predominantly fire and air. There's certainly other ones, but this year in general, this is a very, very complementary energy for you. It's just kind of like a bellows what you would use to, stoke the fire back in the day. Once the air is there and the information, the ideas, and, you just like fire just goes, yeah, I love it. Let's do it. This passion that you have, Leos, is very, very notable. And there's so much energy working with that. So the first full moon in May is going to be on the 12th. That's going to be in Scorpio. That's an intense sign in general. It is water. It works well with all water signs. I think you'll be the most, I want to say just compatible with it. And remember, you can be reading and watching for your sun, moon, ascendant, rising, definitely Venus, and I would say Mercury, because that was one of the many planets that was retrograde, and it's not. So that's about communication. And we actually have Mercury and Venus going into Aries, which is your fellow fire sign. So, it's all systems go. Let's just simplify it as much as I can, which isn't easy for me, but yes, it's time to make things happen. So the amethyst crystal is going to go into my necklace that I wear during my readings to infuse the readings. And this will be great because it's going to add to my intuition, which luckily I'm blessed and grateful. We all have intuition, of course. I asked for it specifically. I have a small little story I'm going to tell you, and it's always true. It's my truth. And I have a beautiful ring. I'm not wearing it because I took it off for work, and I'm actually heading back after I do a couple readings. But I lost it. I have had this ring. It's an opal. It was made for me when I was 19. It's going to be almost 50 years old. So you can do the math. It's a part of me. Let's just put it that way. And I still know the jeweler, and we're still good friends. And he also had drawn a picture of it. So I have that too that I saved. But I usually keep it in my pocket because I don't wear it when I'm doing my massage. I'm looking for my little bag. Forgive me. And yeah, it was gone. So I've had to make some moves at work from a couple of different rooms, and that was unusual. It's different. Kind of threw me off kilter. I know you can relate to that when you're just sort of used to one thing for a certain amount of time. And yeah, I was very sad about it. And I thought, well, you know what? I can actually have him make a new one because he knows who I am. I mean, he certainly knows what I'm talking about. I have the picture, like I said. And I just went into work yesterday and I went up to the reception. I said, do you have a lost and found by any chance? After checking the previous room that I was put in temporarily till I moved to the other room, and I looked it over, scoured it and nothing. And she said, well, I don't know. I can find out. I think there might be one in the back. And I said, okay, thank you. And I went on to my business, had a couple of therapies, and I came out. But before I say this, Leo, and I won't keep it too long, I promise. I woke up, if not yesterday, it was probably, I believe, the day before. And I remember just going around, having some breakfast, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just went, whoa. I had a dream I got my ring back. I remembered it so clearly, and I don't remember any real detail, but it was obviously positive. And then I went, oh man, I don't have that ring. It was just, I know it's materialistic, but it's the value to me about it, and the years, So anyway, I know a lot of people can relate to that. Anyway, I came out of my room and she said, is this it? And it was my ring. It was my ring. And I prayed to my angels. I prayed to my spirit guides, please help me find this. Because I didn't have a clue, but I was disoriented, like I said. So I learned, and I'm extremely grateful. I feel super blessed. That's the kind of month I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be predominantly like that through June and more on. I think this is the easier part of the year, if I may say so. And let's see what your reading has to say about that. Thank you for your patience and listening to my story, but it's a relevant one, and I'm not sure how it'll tie into your situation, but we will find out. I am using this beautiful deck I got about a decade ago in this beautiful shop in San Francisco, and it's called the Spinner deck for obvious reasons. It looks like, it's actually, to me, it's perfect. It's like the infinity symbol. And I love it. And it's got beautiful illustrations. So just remembering, we're all infinite. There's no end, there's no beginning. And also, as far as any kind of dream or, prosperity or abundance, it's always about speaking out into the universe and saying, I want more. I want the best, the most, and more. And thank you, because I never really did. I always would kind of curtail it. Like, can I have like $200? Like, why? It's infinite. There is that's all man-made thoughts processes, right? So go for it. Just believe and ask for the most. Put out those vision boards. You had the new moon, but the second new moon, or the moon, I mentioned the Scorpio on the 12th, it'll illuminate some things. So if there are still things just a little bit pending, because that shadow, part ends on the full moon, it just so happens, you'll get your answers, okay, Leo? I don't know what it is. There could be variants of things. There's a lot of different things as a general reading. But that I feel very confident, if not before, if you haven't already gotten the answer. The new moon will be in Gemini on the 26th, and we will be in Gemini season, and that's also very, very good for you. And Jupiter, the benevolent planet, is in Gemini. So wherever that falls in your house, you can look that up. You just look these things up very easily and free now. Just follow the prompts, put in the information, and it's super. It's good. It's positive, okay? So I feel like this is upside down. Yeah, it was. So I'm going to do a 6-card spread. It's going to be past, present, and future with a clarification. And I'll lay them out for you really quick. And I just want to thank you once again for taking the time to be here. I hope I'm your flavor of the month and onward, because, there's so many of us, and you really want to feel resonance when you're getting a reading. And if you don't like it the first time, please give me another opportunity as well. It's like a blind date. Sometimes you just got to, I don't know. But, it might become very accurate for you. It might be a very, very accurate reading, if not this moment. And also if you check on all of your different placements, like I said, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, definitely Venus, you passionate Leos, you. Okay, so your recent past is the Chariot. Moving forward, folks. Set it right here. This is Cancer. Mars was in Cancer, I told you that, and then Mars went into your sign. I'm sorry I don't remember the exact date, but it hasn't been more than a week at this rate. So, and you've got quite a bit of time. And I was really happy to hear that. It's just more comfortable. It's more at home in in Leo. And Leo's about socializing and fun and being seen and, and extravagance and and passion. I don't know if I can say that enough about Leo. It's really their forte, their heart. It's huge. Yeah, fiery, ambitious energy and spirit, creativity. Just the list goes on. I love it. This is victorious. This is, you've definitely seen the trials and tribulations. You've got the white and black, what do they call those? I can't think right now, but sometimes they're an ox or, it just depends. I want to say Pegasus, but I don't know that that's the correct way to say it. Bottom line is, you've been through it and you still made it. Like, I read this recently, and it's not my saying, but I love certain sayings, and they're so simple, but they hit home for me, and I like to share them. And it was something of the nature of, the thing I love about challenges in life is when you look back and go, yep, got through that one. Bring it, it's true. Sometimes I just have to sit and just feel so incredibly blessed, because I think sometimes I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And I literally just say it out loud. This is on me. Please give me a little hand here. Give me some help. Give me that intervention. Let me use my intuition and let it be seen. And this is the clarification for that. Princess of Pentacles. So whatever it is, you're victorious. You're definitely moving forward. The Chariot also, if I didn't say it, does represent Cancer, which is water. But it also represents traveling and vacationing and maybe moving. And it's because you want to. It's not forced. It's all on you, and you have full control. There's a mastery there. It could also represent your body, your vehicle. Having mastery over your body. You're feeling better. You're doing something. You've changed your habits. You're going to change them for sure. This month would be the impetus, if ever there were a month. And once you do it for a couple of weeks, it then becomes, second nature. So I feel that a lot for a lot of people. I'm hearing that from my clients. They've started a regiment. They're feeling better already just because they're doing it 2 days a week, whatever. To each his own. No judgment, no nothing. Just, it's going to help a lot. It's going to help the mental, physical, and spiritual aspect of you. But the Princess of Pentacles is about your earthly desires, right? That is the youth, or the page, you could say, in the court cards. And it's about money or possessions or value. It's new. It's something that's possibly inviting you to think about regarding your money, invest in. It is definitely about possibly investing in the idea of having another member of the family. Maybe you're about to have a child. Maybe you're thinking about it. Anytime you see a page, it's very possible. Remembering to be and always be in touch with your child self, your inner child, and laugh whenever possible in this times when you just think, I take on too much, I'm too serious. I honestly turn on the TV to find different things and make me laugh. It feels so good. I used to laugh way more than I do, but also it's because, there are times when it's like, that's not appropriate. So I've kind of had to grow up that way, but not 100%. Love this very much for you. And maybe you're with somebody that's an earth sign, which would be what? Capricorn, Taurus season right now, or Virgo. And Virgo is prominent. Like I said, the North Node, next 18 months, Pisces in the North Node, Virgo in the South. North is where we want to go, and the direction we want to do. Pisces is loving and compassionate and giving. And amongst everything else, you might continue to feel this feeling like, but it's going to be okay. I really feel it's going to be okay. You may change your spirituality. You may have a whole different concept during these next 18 months as well, Leo. And then also the Virgo is the part where Virgos can be very critical, self-critical, judgment, whatever. They're good at what they do, but they're constantly looking and saying, well, that could be done better this way, not that. It's true. They don't necessarily say it out loud. A lot of them do. But it's a time when they recognize, maybe I need to lighten up a little bit about that. I have one planet in Virgo, and I sense that in myself. I see that and I feel it, and I'm not ashamed, or I'm not making excuses. I don't feel like I have to apologize for anything, but I do notice it, and I've noticed it more. And I think, I don't really want to be that person, because I don't remember being that. And I'd like to release that. This would be the time. And it's equating the fact that it's, It has to do with the earth element of the Pentacles, an idea, a change of perspective, perhaps. That's just kind of just beginning. So let's go with the present energy for you. The World, oh, wow. Talk about just a complete, this is the last major arcana card in tarot. So it's the entire, you've gone through one entire cycle. And like I said, this is absolutely being seen to me in so many different ways with people I know, people I don't, certainly clients, family, transformation. And it happens our whole lives, but there are certain years and certain times you can be very aware and you just recognize, oh, this is one of those times. It's happening with me. And I'm sure it's happening with you in some way. But this is beautiful. You have the whole world in your hands. Generally, you can see the 4 fixed signs, which you are, Leo, a fixed sign. And I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of, I believe all of the Mercury retrogrades are going to be in fire signs this year. And there's a lot of air and fire involved, but the world is also travel. The world is just like a complete closing and changing of one aspect of yourself to another, from a single person to married, from a non-parent to a parent, from married to single. It's huge, it's big. And I find it very exciting. That's the feeling that's coming from the card, to be honest. And that's your passion coming through, Leo. And then the clarification on that is the 3 of Swords. Okay, well, that has to do with being hurt, absolutely. And the swords are the mind, they're the air elements. They're the Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So everything with any of the air signs is always about really thinking through all aspects and angles and possibilities in every scenario in life. Almost to a fault, but that's something always to be considered. If you have air in your chart, I have 4 planets in air. I do that. I think a lot, but I've learned so much through the years to recognize it and to think good things whenever possible. I can change that in a snap of a finger. And this is obviously, when you see it with the depiction of the Rider-Waite-Smith, it's swords directly through a heart. So it's already happened. It's past. And it is now time to heal. And might I add that this is absolutely, with Aries having Chiron, the wounded healer, in its sign. And I don't think that's changing. I could be wrong. There are so many planets changing. And I'll mention them as they come along. But to this time, it's, Venus going into Aries this month and Mercury, and then we had Neptune going into Aries. And so then the last is that Saturn goes into Aries on the 24th, 25th, depending on where you're located. Stability, structure, restriction, seriousness. I'm motivated, I'm making it happen, okay? This is going to happen. And then it goes back into Pisces, comes back next year. 14 years with Neptune and Aries, 3 years, give or take, with Saturn. They always run together. Structure, movement, creation, stability in it, serious, but definitely concrete kind of energy, which I love. This is about you getting over your hurt, your worries, your sorrows, and putting that behind you as well. That is the complete transformation, perhaps, of the world. Then we have the future card, and that is the Lovers. Well, I'm not surprised. There you go. There you be. I told you passion is huge, and I'm happy for that. I think a lot of us maybe during the winter months, because we're in spring now, but it's just I just wanted to cuddle up and stay warm after work. I felt pretty tired this year. I know the Mars retrograde really had a lot to do with that for all of us, and yourself included. But love can be revived. Spring has that. And relationships you've already been in for a long time can have a new feel and tone to them and excitement. And that's always really beautiful about relationships from what I remember. So I love this. This is great. This is near future. If it hasn't already happened and you have an exact idea of who this person or selection is, it doesn't have to be romantic though. With this Princess of Pentacles and work related perhaps, or things having to do with sustenance and any earthly things that are tangible, kind of, perpendicular or on the angle, that could be the new idea or situation that's going to have you pick a right partner in some respect, if it's not romance, work, it feels good, and it feels like it's going to be financially rewarding as well. Clarifying this, you have the Five of Wands. Well, this comes out a lot too, and this is you. This is the Wands. This is the fire. Wands are cool though, because wands aren't really going to hurt you terribly much. And you can see nobody's actually attempting to hurt each other. They're looking and kind of trying to figure out, well, let's see, if I put my wand this way and you put yours there, it's getting to be able to work in a group setting. And yeah, there's going to be differences of opinion, and there'll be some competitive nature, perhaps within yourself, Leo. And I find that to be true with Leos. They do like to be the best. They do have pride. And what they put out there, you know, they want it to be recognized as something that's high quality. So anything you're involved in, you don't want to, but you will speak your opinion. You know that. There's no secret about that. Just be careful, because with Mars in your sign, you might end up going just a little farther, and you might end up bruising some egos or whatnot. I mean, it happens, right? But that doesn't have to be that. It can be working together and just seeing a different perspective and realizing, okay, I can appreciate that, and going with the flow. And that's the Pisces energy as well. So I absolutely love this. By the way, all so far the readings have been really wonderful and very inspiring. And I want that for all of you listening. I want to just kind of perk your interest in your possibilities and what you can do, and how creative and how wonderful you are, and how magical and empowered and powerful you are. And so I'm going to conclude the reading for May 2025 with a couple of, actually 3 oracle messages, because oracle messages are really profound to me. They're the cherry on the sundae, and they kind of just cement and culminate the reading. And this is the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. I love it, and they're one words with beautiful illustrations. So, and they can kind of have a theme as well. Let's see what yours are, Leo, for this beautiful month of May. You've got chop wood. Get to it. You know what I mean? We've had a lot of rest. We've had a lot of unnecessary delays and things that we didn't really particularly ask for or want, but we had to do it, and we enjoyed it, and we're not doing that anymore. So now it's time to hit the ground running in May, all right? But I think it'd be extremely enthusiastic. It's going to bring, you have the energy now, and it's like, you're ready. You're absolutely ready. So that would be that. It's 42, which is 6, and that's always keeping the balance. That's important. 6th house. Time for a nap. So, having said you have energy, just take it easy, because it's just really still starting to build, and it will. But if you happen to be still wanting to make sure that you are catering to your, maybe you weren't feeling good, you know, maybe something of that nature came up, it can exhaust you. Do listen to your needs, your body's needs, okay, so that you can do basically anything you want. Without the health of our body, it does slow us down considerably. So chop wood, but just at an even keel, okay? Keep the balance whenever possible, and take that nap so you can continue to thrive, okay? And then last but not least, buy the book. I mean, I don't know. I know it has a lot to do with your other placements, but I know that a lot of Leos I know personally, and you know, and read about and everything, you love to be an individual, you know, kind of your own rebel, if you will. And so buy the book is, I agree, you would be excellent at doing this. I think when you're in a situation where you need to collaborate and be in a setting that you are to do what you were asked to do, or you are no longer working kind of thing, you're gonna do it by the book and then some. And if you own a business, you're going to require that the people that you employ are doing that as well. You know, this is serious at this point. You know, we all need to be very aware of a lot of things in our finances. And then if you notice that somebody's dead weight or they're not actually doing their job, you'll attend to that too, in a very kind manner with this 5 of Wands. You're going to recognize it, and you're going to speak your mind, but you're also going to say, thank you, this obviously isn't the right fit, or whatever it is, and however you want to say it. But buy the book is, I would say, great advice at this time. And then as you feel obviously more confident, you can kind of do a little more ad-libbing or whatever you want to call it, you know. So I love this, and I'm grateful once again that you would even spend the time, if you have and you're still here. Thank you very much. Love your support. Want to make that 500 subscribers, and by this month's end, I think it's what, 60 subscribers away. Come on now. Come on, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm here for you regardless, though. And everything I'm talking to you about is free. So it's a matter of a gesture and a support system that's really beautiful for YouTube. Have a wonderful, wonderful month. I hope everything works out better than you've imagined and planned, and that it continues on through June. Come by and visit me with the collective on Mondays if you feel so inclined. Take good care. Love you. Bye for now.